Anthony Adebayo. We off the record.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes.
You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo, and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sports.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B. Oh, hey guys. Hey, how you doing? Now, what's going on, man?
What's up, man? How you been doing?
I'm all right. I ain't even going, you know what I mean? You can't bring me down. Nope. I will not let you.
Oh, yeah. No, life should be good. Life should be good. It's one of the favorite sports times of the year.
Yeah, man. But I guess we should get the what do you call it? Formalities out the way. This is Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
It's your boy Scotty B.
All right, man. So week 1 NFL is over.
Right.
And it was pretty competitive. I think that these guys came to play. But I guess there were some surprises. I guess there were some things that could have went down as a surprise, but for some, not many. I guess we should, we had our show last week, our season preview, and I do want to discuss some of our picks because we didn't record after that last week. I do want to discuss some of our picks and if we can change anything, should we or can we or would we? Let's get into some of the games first, though. I guess the opening game, Tampa and Dallas. What were your thoughts?
I was impressed with Dak Prescott. I know a lot of people question his arm strength in that game, but he looked accurate. I was impressed with the Tampa Bay defensive line, what they were able to do. More importantly, I was impressed with Tom Brady and the way that he was spreading the ball around and how many weapons that he has that came back and to see those guys actually be on the same page and see how dynamic that offense could be. And I was the first one last year when he started off with Tampa Bay. I was like, man, Tom looks terrible out there, man. Tom better retire, but Tom looked good this year. Right. So now they're going to be a scary team. How did you feel about your Cowboys?
Well, I felt good. I do believe that we left a lot of points on the field. Like we should have went into the half up. We should have those missed field goals, special teams counts. And it kind of hurt us last week. A missed field goal. The 60-yarder, I'm not gonna really press on that, but the missed extra point and the missed field goal early in the game kind of, threw the game off course. It almost felt like we were kind of chasing points. But I like what I saw. There was a lot of people talking about Zeke, but I think that Zeke, that the game plan was to throw as many times as they threw, because I mean, let's face it, Tampa Bay has one of the, if not the best run defenses in the league. So to try and force feed them when you didn't have to, when Dak was just picking them apart, didn't make any sense. So
let's go back to that because I want to get your take on this.
Mm-hmm.
So Zeke, it's a lot of people that are making a big deal of his performance. Okay, so obviously you're more on the game plan side of it. There are other people speaking about maybe he's done or has put some question marks to whether Mike McCarthy knows how to use him. What are your sentiments on that?
I think that they don't know what they're talking. I mean, so the casual fan, I'm not gonna say they don't know what they're talking about, but they don't know what they're talking about. The casual fan will look at it and say, "Oh, he had 11 carries, 33 yards. Oh, he's trash." What they don't know is that is more than just running the ball. So Zeke ultimately was a sixth lineman, right? And there were times where he picked up the blitz. And most of the time he picked up the blitz, or he picked up the extra defender, and let Dak step up in the pocket and throw a touchdown, or let Dak step up in the pocket, throw on the third down and throw for a first down. There were plenty of those plays in that game. I remember 4 or 5 vividly where he's stepping up to help block Shaq Barrett and helping to block JPP, and then what's the White blitzing, he picked him up. Dak was able to step up in the pocket, throw a touchdown to Amari Cooper. So I think I won't expect to see that this week. I think that Dallas will be able to run the ball a little bit more versus San Diego, the Chargers. So no, I don't think that Zeke is done. I mean, and then you got to think when he ran that ball, he did look explosive. When that one play that people talk about, oh, he couldn't break the one tackle, that guy had an angle, and Blake Jarwin missed the block. So nobody's really breaking that tackle. I mean, if that guy misses that tackle, he shouldn't be in the NFL. I mean, a high school kid can make that tackle.
I will say this, right? I felt like the defense, it has improved. If they can withstand Tom Brady and that explosive offense, because had that been last year, Tom Brady would have put up 70 on that defense.
He's enough, man.
Yeah, you probably put up 70.
Nobody's putting up 70 in the end. Get out of here.
It was a historically bad defense, but you saw that they kind of hung in there a little bit. I think personally, and it's just my opinion, if you're a Dallas fan, there's a lot of positive that you could look at. They went toe to toe with the reigning Super Bowl champion, and they, in all accounts, they should have won that game. So I don't think it's a bad thing. Now, something that I've been talking about behind closed doors, pause, that sounded jacked up, but you got a lot of fantasy people that have Ezekiel Elliott. For a prime example, one of our good friends that has a team name Burning Goats has Ezekiel Elliott. What do you say to that person about keeping him or trading him?
See, that's not fair, Scott. That's not fair, because I would tell him to trade him. I would tell him to trade him. Everybody else, I would say keep him. I would say, hey man, and see what you get. I know when it comes to blocking, there ain't nobody trying to hear nothing about no running back blocking in fantasy. I get that. So in that case, if you don't feel confident with Zeke, I would say trade him. But
okay, I might make him a deal. All right, Ant, that was good fantasy advice.
No, I mean, I think that you should make sure that you I would keep him personally. I would keep him. Mm-hmm. I mean, I have him in the league, but I would keep him.
Yeah, it's too. So, like you said, and I mean, just to bring it back to football, like you said, that was a tough defensive line assignment, probably the toughest that he's going to see all year. Right. We have to see what he's able to do against other defenses. The game plan is going to be a little bit different too. Dak,
right?
He's not going to throw the ball that much. I do think that at some point they're going to keep somebody honest by running the football. So we'll see. It's week one. So I do want to ask you this: overreaction, Packers. Is it overreaction, or are they in trouble?
No, I think it's an overreaction. Me personally, I would get a Packers to like week 3 or 4 to really get themselves together. I wouldn't be surprised if they lost to Detroit this coming Monday. Matter of fact, I think they will lose to Detroit this coming Monday.
It's a hot take. I don't think they'll lose to Detroit this week. Even though, okay, so we'll go back to the Packers. Even though Detroit played the 49ers really, really, I wouldn't say tough, but they were able to make that game a lot closer than it should have been. They could have won.
Send it to overtime.
They shot to win, yeah, or get in overtime. So I'm not going to say that Detroit is the Detroit. So far on week 1, they're not the traditional Detroit that we've come accustomed to seeing. They look like they're going to actually compete, and they're going to play 4 quarters of football. Now, whether or not it's good football, it depends on their opponent. But I do feel like they are going to play Green Bay tough. As for Aaron Rodgers, so, one of his teammates, did you hear what Jermichael Finley said about him today?
Nah.
So he came out, and it was he talked about how he doesn't take accountability, and that he's one of those guys that he always does everything right, and that if they're in a room and they're discussing film, he's going to make sure the coaches understand that it wasn't his fault. He put the ball where it needed to be, and it was up to the receivers to catch it. So, there's been a lot of talk. One of his vocal teammates that in past years has spoke out a lot is Greg Jennings. And a lot of people say that Greg Jennings and Jermichael Finley both did not really care for Aaron Rodgers. Do you think that this is a case of those guys not liking him, or this is something that could be true?
Well, it definitely could be true. I mean, we're not in there. I mean, they were in the locker room with him. They were in film sessions with him. So it definitely can be true. And I wouldn't put it past him. I mean, he's a quarterback. He has diva tendencies. So it's absolutely possible that could be true. Now, is it more of like sour grapes? That's possible also. But I think right now, if you were on the fence about dealing with Aaron Rodgers, you're like, oh no, this is all him. He's screwing up, and you're on the other side of that. If you're a fan of Aaron Rodgers, you're gonna do what most people do that are fans of people. You're gonna give excuses and this, that, and the third. I feel this past weekend there's no excuses that you could get. He played like crap. I mean, he just played bad. And do I think they should trade him right now? No. Do I think that they should be concerned? Not yet. But I tell you what, you have 2 games like that, which I highly doubt. But if you have 2 games like that, then yeah, you might be there might be some cause for concern. But as we speak right here, after week 1, no, there shouldn't be any concern. It should just be, all right, let's get back on track. It's week 1. There shouldn't be concern for anyone.
So I agree with you there, but I disagree with you on it depends on what side of the fence you're on. I want to point out something that I didn't particularly like that he did or has been doing all week. It feels like he's not taking enough accountability for his performance. And most quarterbacks, to your point, it is about themselves to an extent, but most of them will start off any interview with, I've got to play better. I've got to be better. I have to be a better leader. And, it's a lot of times when you're a leader, right, you always want to give the group the credit but you want to assume accountability when things go bad. And I didn't see him taking a lot of the responsibility for the loss because he did play bad. And yeah, I get everybody came out with bad energy. And that's what he kept saying is everybody has to play better. But it does start with him and his investment to the team. So when I started hearing these reports this morning of what Jermichael Finley, I think he went on with Keyshawn Johnson and Jay Will this morning. And I think back to what Greg Jennings, when he had went on First Take, and I think he's been on various shows talking about it, it gave me a glimpse into, okay, we've been hearing all the reports and we've been getting to know the diva Aaron Rodgers this year. And then you go back and you watch the snippets of him talking about the game, and it kind of aligns with it. So I felt like it was interesting. I think the Packers will eventually get back on track, but it has given me more perspective of Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback off the field.
Right. Yeah, I mean, most quarterbacks are divas, just like receivers. I don't know, and I guess that's a conversation we can have another day on who are bigger divas, quarterbacks or receivers. But
so hold on, let's stay at that game. Let's stay at that game though, because we're leaving out one important part: the Saints.
Yeah,
hold
on. Before we get to the
Saints,
one last thing about Aaron Rodgers. I think that a lot of people are making a lot of what happened this summer, and I think that they should. I mean, that was a huge distraction, and if they don't fix that part. It's going to be a very long season for the Green Bay Packers. But you said the Saints.
Yeah, the Saints. Jameis Winston. I mean, really, the Saints team played really well. If I was a betting man, I would have bet on the Packers. And of course, I've been doing a little bit more parlays and whatnot, but I tend to not gamble because most of the time I'm wrong. I didn't see that performance coming out from the Saints.
I don't think so. I expected them to play good, and I like Jameis as a quarterback. I think I was more shocked at the Packers than the Saints. I think because Jameis Winston can have, and we talked about it during our preview show about Jameis Winston. I know Marcus had him as his most improved player, but I mean, forget most improved. If Jameis Winston plays like this, he's going to be in an MVP. I'm being
absolutely.
serious. I mean, if he's not going to throw 5 touchdowns and 0 interceptions all the time. I think the biggest takeaway I take from Sunday with Jameis is his efficiency. We haven't. You don't see Jameis Winston as an efficient quarterback. And I blame his coaches more than I blame him because Bruce Arians was like what's his motto? Risk it or biscuit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, now he had a year to sit behind, a future Hall of Famer, a future Hall of Fame coach. That and he learned, and you could tell the difference. He got his eyes fixed. That was the first thing, and second, he seems more. I don't want to say at peace, but he seems more comfortable.
Yeah, and I think we talked about it on the pregame show a little bit. He's just taken me as somebody that always wants to put on more than he needs to. And like you said, that's part of it is I feel like since he's been with the Saints, he hasn't been like out front or trying to put on like he's this great leader or he's this great quarterback. He's leading by example, not necessarily his mouth. He's definitely, showing people that, hey, I was the number one pick for a reason. I was a Heisman Trophy winner for a reason, and hopefully he has good things to come his way. So I do want to talk to you about one of your takes, right? And as weird as it's sounding, the narrative is shaping up, and it could go your way. I'm not going to say that I'm with you, but Matt Nagy, the Bears, and Justin Fields. All right, so I don't agree with anything you said about them in the pregame show, but the first part of what you're saying might be coming into fruition. Justin Fields playing in the red zone created more of a buzz for Justin Fields to be on the field. And one thing that you did say is that Matt Nagy is going to be pressured into turning to Justin Fields, and that might be the reason for him being the coach of the year if Justin Fields can have success. I don't think he'll have the success to make Matt Nagy the coach of the year, but I can see people are starting to say, and people are starting to realize that, well everybody's knowing it's the worst kept secret in football. Andy Dalton is Andy Dalton. like you're not going to win a playoff game with Andy Dalton. He's had a decent career, but you get what you get with him.
Right.
He's not your answer to playoff success or even a playoff berth, but he's suitable to be a solid backup if that's what you need. The potential of Justin Fields is there. The energy is different. So that's your hot take of the year. We're going to continue to. I want to continue to remind you about it, but it's about 15% on the right track.
So don't forget that I said that they would win the division.
Yeah. Well, I was going to give you a pass on that.
No. Here's the thing. Hold on. Here's the thing. Everybody in that division is 0-1. They're all on the same playing field. So who's to say that the Bears don't go on a run and the Packers go on a run of that? Because everybody, if I don't think I've seen anybody pick anybody other than the Packers to win that division, right? And if the Bears could go on a run, because come on, man, they got a tough schedule, but it ain't that tough, and there's some I mean, let's be honest. Like, yeah, they ended up losing by like 20, but they were in that game. It was a one possession game for quite some time, and they had their shots. They had their shots, but they had the wrong quarterback in. So they got the Bengals this weekend. That's a winnable game. They got the Browns after that. Then they got the Lions and the Raiders and the Packers and the Bucks. So here's the thing. They literally could be.
You believe that
0-7 or like 5-2.
Yeah, I was about to say you believe that they're going to win those games? Because I don't believe
it could definitely win. So here's the thing, and I feel this, and I said this last week, that there are only maybe one or two teams in the NFL right now that are really bad. And that's not even being proven true, because I said one of them was Houston. And Houston won. So Jacksonville is not going to be anything right now because they just don't have enough. They don't. But
were you impressed with Trevor Lawrence?
Trevor Lawrence looked good. He looked good. I mean, he had the 3 interceptions, but he's a rookie. So, I mean, Trevor Lawrence looked all right. I mean, but again, they were playing Houston. Atlanta is probably the worst team in the NFC. Maybe. They might be the worst team in the NFC. They might be the worst team in the NFC. Atlanta might, and they're not bad. I mean, let me rephrase that. They're bad, but they're not like 0-16 bad, or 3-3 14 bad. They can win.
I just want to know this. I just want to know this. When are we going to start holding Matt Ryan accountable? I've been asking for years.
They should hold him accountable. He should be held accountable.
When are we going to start asking him questions?
I think personally, I don't think that Matt Ryan's a bad quarterback, but I do think that he needs to change the scenery. I think a change of scenery is what he needs. Like if he would have went to Detroit, if he would have got traded to Detroit or
the LA
or
the Rams. Yeah,
or the Rams or the 49ers, I think that he would be fine. But I think that relationship is just stale now. It is like it is what it is, you know. So I mean, Matt Ryan, I mean, he don't really got a lot of help, especially on that old line. I mean, they ain't got much. They got Calvin Ridley and Pitts. You know?
Okay, so the Titans, should they be concerned, or they're going to get back on track?
Hey, you want to see something funny, Scotty? Look at this. He late to the show. You better watch the replay because we already talked about Jameis.
You talked about Jameis for about 5 minutes.
I know. So no. We ain't gonna do that. But I'm sorry. Who did you say?
The Titans. Are they going to be good, or
it's one game?
What's going on with them?
I need to see more. I mean, what? I'm not just gonna say, oh, their season's over because they lost. I mean, they did get beat down, but Arizona probably would have beat everybody that they played last week if Chandler Jones was gonna play like that. I mean, he literally destroyed that game for the Titans. I mean, he was a one-man wrecking crew. He literally destroyed that game.
Taylor Lewan, he was killing Taylor Lewan. I mean, I was like, and you know, Taylor Lewan is a Michigan boy, so I was like,
I know,
hey, don't do it to him like that. But yeah,
it was
Chandler
bad.
Jones was, he. I mean, and Kyler Murray, and that Arizona offense is starting to click too. It's starting to come together. So okay, I'll agree with you here, right? Mm-hmm. The Titans might be okay. It's Arizona might be better than most people thought they would be. And they just ran into a tough Arizona team.
That's possible. Yeah, man, the Titans. We got to see. I think we have to wait and see. Because none of them really look good. None of the guys on like offensively, defensively, they just look bad all the way around.
How did you feel about your Browns?
My Browns?
Your Browns.
I felt the same way about the Browns as I felt about the Cowboys. That these guys can play with anybody in the league, and they should have won the game, and that they're gonna take the next step. I believe that they're gonna win that division, and well, I said that already, but I think that they're gonna win that division, and probably easily.
So Odell Beckham is going to be out again. They're going to play. I believe they play the Texans this week. Mm-hmm. Is there any concern about him coming back and throwing the offense off?
No, I don't think so. I think at this point Odell knows that he got to get in where he fit in, just because he been out. He been out the whole year, and those guys went on a run, and he just gotta he's got to get in where he fit in. So I mean, what are your thoughts on the Browns? I mean, you watched the game, Browns and Chiefs. So what were your thoughts on the game? What were your thoughts on both teams?
Ironically, I agree with you. They look like they could play with anybody. Kansas City is just Kansas City. I mean, they're never out, and they've got so many weapons that no lead is safe with them. As fast as they get into some sort of just if they get down, they'll figure out ways to get back in the game.
Right. Yeah, I mean they're just different, man. It's just they're the 2017 Golden State Warriors, man. You think you got them beat, and they could put up points on you in a hurry, and then you looking crazy. Like, damn, we just you know what? And I feel this honestly that if that punter gets that punt off, that they still win that game. The Browns, I think the Browns still win that game. You know?
Yeah, I'm excited to see what the Browns are going to do. Pittsburgh and Buffalo. Is Buffalo going to be the powerhouse that we think that they or that they were last year?
It's going to be tough because they're not sneaking up on anybody this year. Last year they were underdogs in damn near every game. They were able to cover the spread. I think they covered the spread on 15 to 16 games. So they're not going to sneak up on anybody. But with that being said, I mean, Pittsburgh didn't look that impressive either. I mean, I wasn't like, oh man, Pittsburgh is legit. They're Super Bowl contenders. No, Pittsburgh looked like they just looked regular. It wasn't nothing that stood out to me.
Their defense kept them, man.
Other than TJ Watt, I mean.
Oh yeah, TJ Watt. No, their defense kept them in that game. I mean, their defense is going to be solid. We'll see. It is week 1, and will Josh Allen make the adjustments? But I want to tell you, he looked a lot closer to the Josh Allen we saw the first 3 years that he was in the league compared to the Josh Allen that we saw last year. So that's going to be something for everybody to watch out for.
Yeah.
Watching that game, I felt a little bit confident into one of the bets that I do have about Buffalo going to the AFC conference game. So I felt like that was $100 that can go to my kids' Christmas, because this is going to come right around Christmas. So I should be good, right? If not there, Valentine's Day, the wife, the kids, a nice little gift. I'm good.
I got a few bets this upcoming season, but I mean, I think Buffalo's gonna be okay. I picked them to win the division, and we're gonna see. We'll see. I'm gonna stick with that pick. I'm not gonna switch it up. I'm not switching any of my picks, man. I'm going. It is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? So. All right, man, let's get to the winner of the week. All right, let's go.
No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner.
All right, welcome back. So we're going to switch some things up a little bit. I think that I'm going to do the winner of the week this week. My winner of the week this week is going to go to Scott. No, I'm joking. It's going to go to Burning Goats, because he couldn't score 100 points in. All right, let's get there. No. All jokes aside, my winner of the week is going to the FBI agents that failed to respond to the seriousness and urgency of the reports that they got about Larry Nassar, who was the doctor who was pretty much sexually abusing a bunch of gymnasts. Simone Biles, Ali Razman, just to name a few. they had the reports. Those things were reported. Department of Justice had the reports, and it's coming to find out that they just sat on them. The FBI agents that had the reports that it was reported to, they had the reports, and they just pretty much swept it under the rug. They didn't they made a bunch of mistakes and ultimately turned a blind eye to the gymnasts, the Olympians that were going for whatever help that they needed. And right now I believe the trial is going on right now. I guess this is a separate trial, and it's crazy. He is, first of all, he's disgusting, and for them not to take it serious enough or take it seriously enough to like investigate or do a proper investigation, I think is worthy of being the winner of the week. I mean, it's terrible, and hopefully that these gymnasts and all of them are actually getting the help that they actually need, because I mean, mentally it's got to mess with them. So for that, I think they get, they get the winner of the week. What's your thoughts?
Well, first, I want to compliment you. Did an outstanding job with that. I definitely agree, man. I agree. Just the fact that they sat on it and didn't do something is just, it's terrible, man. And they owe just anybody as being victim to something like that. They owe them justice. You all the time you think about, if that was your mother, your daughter, your sister,
right,
or just anybody. You wouldn't want somebody knowing something like that and just sitting on it and not feeling the obligation to at least protect that person. So, yeah, man, definitely. So, look, I was talking to a couple of guys, and they want to put out a parlay bet in our chat this week. The parlay bet is, can the Burning Goats score above 150 points this week? Over and under.
We're gonna have to get him on here, man, because I don't think somebody could be that bad of a fantasy player, man. We won't release his government name.
Yeah, we ain't gonna release.
He's gonna tell you what his fantasy name is. His name is Burning Goats. So we're gonna get him on here. He's gonna be our blind guest. But if you ask over or under 150, absolutely under. I mean, he scored 85 points. I mean, literally, he could have doubled his score and would have lost to about half the league. And I, he's a good friend of ours, and we're not gonna release his identity. It's unfortunate, man.
You said under what? You said under 150?
Absolutely, man. I think that he's gonna struggle a little bit to score points, and all the trash that he talked during our draft. We had a live draft. Maybe next year. I think next year we're gonna do the draft. I don't know how much people. Yeah, I think people will like to watch that. So he talked a lot of trash to us, man. And you would have thought he had the greatest team drafted in the history of fantasy football. But over under 150. Come on, Scott. That's an easy one right there, man. I'm going under, man. What do you got?
Yeah, I go under too. I go under. No, you know what? I think he can get over 150. I think he can get over 150. If you say 175, that might be tough for a 200. 150, he should be able to get over 150.
Well, so that's a huge jump in a week, and should we give the people his now? We won't give the people who's on his team, but now I'm going under. Now if you said 100.
Oh no, he'll break 100. He'll break 100. You can't go back.
You saying that a little too confidently, man.
I don't think it's possible to go 2 weeks under 100. Maybe under 150. I don't know, but 2 weeks under 100 is pretty tough to do. We'll see.
Okay. All right. So I want let's talk some college football for a quick second. We haven't really been able to talk college football the last couple of weeks. Alabama is I mean they're 2-0. They had a easy game. I think the point spread, I think they played Mercer last week, and the points, I mean, they were favored to win by, I think, 57 or 55 or something like that. I almost think that they covered, if I'm not mistaken. But do you see any team beating Alabama this season?
No.
Really?
I just don't see it. I mean, I don't know I know what Nick Saban is doing, and I don't know how you can stop it. I mean, college football, you've got Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, and I'm missing one. But for the past 5 or 6 years, I thought I said Clemson.
Oh, my fault.
Yeah, I mean, they've just been dominant. I mean, Georgia. Mm-hmm. I think those are the 4 teams that at least one of them is going to be in the championship each year. And it's really their championship that lose. And I don't think that, I mean, it's other programs that are competitive, but you really start to zero in on those 4 programs as which one is it going to be this year. And I mean, you look at the raw statistical data on it. I mean, over the past 5 years, I don't think any of those teams have lost more than 7 games. I mean, they rarely,
right?
Yeah, and they rarely. I mean, 1 loss is a average season. 2 losses is a bad season for those programs.
Yep, I agree. I think this Georgia has a very good shot at beating Alabama this year. I don't think Alabama's going to go undefeated 2 seasons in a row. I think Georgia is. They got a good defense, man, and that quarterback, I think Bryce Young. That boy could play, but I think this is the time that, like, because you're not gonna. If you don't catch him slipping this year, you're not going to catch him slipping next year, So I think the best bet is to get that 1 victory now and get it over with, so you ain't got to play them no more. Florida, I think Florida may have a shot. It's not a big shot, but I think that Florida may have a shot in the SEC. That's about it in the SEC. I don't think. Well, Texas A&M is gonna be right there, but I don't know if anybody. You got Ohio State is not good. They just lost to Oregon, right. and who's the other one we just said? Clemson. I just don't know because Clemson lost.
Well, life is looking a lot different without Trevor Lawrence.
Absolutely. So
yeah,
they because I think they had Deshaun Watson, I think Kelly. It was one other guy,
Brian Kelly,
Brian,
or
and
Kelly, yeah,
Kelly Bryant, whatever his name is. Yeah, the guy that Trevor Lawrence took his spot. I forget his name. But then Trevor Lawrence came, so they've had a pretty good run with quarterbacks at Clemson. So this guy, he lost last year to Notre Dame. He got a really long last name, but he looks like he could play. It's just I don't know. We going it's a wait and see. But if there is a team that I have to say looks like they can beat Alabama, is Georgia.
So I do got one thing to ask you, something that you put me on while we was watching Monday Night Football. What did you think about Peyton and Eli and what they're doing?
I thought it was dope. I thought it was a dope concept. It reminded me like being in a film room with coaches and things of that nature, or just in a room full of guys and talking football while watching football, right? That may have been a bit much for like a casual fan, right? But if you wanted to learn, like, just what it's like to be in like film study, or just learn different aspects of the game, that was something to watch. Because Peyton was, he was next level with it. With just breaking it down before it happened, and you kind of got into the mind of Peyton Manning, right? Like, then he processes things so quickly in front of him, and he was doing it through a TV screen at this point. And it's like, wow, he's that.
That's what I was impressed with. Is it's not like the play is happening and then he's talking about it after. He's looking at the screen for a second and saying, okay, this is the play they're about to run. This is who's going to be open. This is where the ball needs to go. Right. While he's watching and joking and doing all that. And I was impressed with both Eli and Peyton with it. I thought it was pretty cool how they brought in people. They brought in Russell Wilson, brought in Charles Barkley, brought in Travis Kelce, and got some of their takes on things. I personally would like to see more of that. I think if you're, like you said, it might have been a little bit much for the casual fan, but if you're really into it, I learned a lot just listening to Peyton Manning. I'm like, damn, this guy is on the money. I hope they do more of it. Do you know if they're going to do more of it?
You said, do I know?
Yeah.
I don't know. They should, maybe not every week, but I think that they should, especially like the bigger games. That was the opening night. You got some big Monday night games. Not necessarily sure we need to have that there for Packers Lions, but that may turn out to be a high flying game, and you get in the aspect. But I do think that they got some intel from the coaches, not necessarily like what plays they're gonna run, but just some of the formations, and because they had to for some of those things. Because,
but do you think they just film study though? You think that they just went? Go ahead.
Well, so here's the thing. Sometimes, like for certain formations, every team you may run the same formation, but you'll have a different name for it or different terminology for it. So a lot of it was him just knowing what he knows, and some of it was not necessarily when he's breaking down the particular play, but just the terminology of some of the formations. So
yeah, I thought it was dope. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a good game. It ended up being a good game.
That ending was amazing. It was crazy. It was a Raider type ending,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, I feel like they should do more of those type of things. I think that ESPN was on to something when it came down to when it came down to what do you call it? That breakdown with Peyton. Why does my hat look like this, man? Crazy.
So I got a question. I want to shift gears a little bit. Our guy Russell Westbrook. A lot of people are making a lot of noise about his blue hair and his skirt. Do you think people are making too much of that?
All right, let me say that you'll never see me in a skirt. I understand that everybody has different fashion, and I won't judge him for that, right? But he was wearing a skirt and some knee-high boots or whatever they was, and I mean, I wouldn't do it. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I personally would not put on knee-high boots and a skirt. I wouldn't go in there looking like I'm going to brunch. You know, I'm sorry, yo.
So it's two different outlooks, right? So if a Russell Westbrook, you definitely don't do it because there's no amount of money that you could be paid to do it. It's a lot of people out there that said that they would do it for the right price. It's a hard one, right? Because I feel like if you pause, yeah, definitely pause, especially on this subject. If you do it for any amount of money, you do it for free. That's always been my motto. I give, Yo,
you got on a skirt now. Again, so here's the thing: to each his own. I don't think that Russell Westbrook is gay or anything like that. I don't think that. I think that he has his own style, and it's just different. But Russell Westbrook has always been different, though. He's always been different. But I saw a picture today, and I don't even know if I should post this or show you or post it on the screen. They made his skirt
in the Laker uniform.
In a Laker uniform, man. I was just like, damn. I don't know, like the hair thing. I don't really care about the hair thing because folks dye their hair all the time. But I ain't even gonna show that joint, man. Cause that joint is out of pocket.
Nah, it's out of pocket. I'm out of pocket for bringing it up, but everybody's talking about. All right, John Wall. All right, our guy John Wall. They're trying to move him out of Houston. Is he still a starting point guard at this point?
Starting. It depends on where he goes. I mean, he has starter potential. I mean, he's a starting point guard. I mean, he's a starting point guard. I think he's a starting point guard. He needs to stay healthy. I just think that the fit just wasn't there going into last year it was it was a late trade and it just didn't work. But where would he go? I mean, they're working on a trade with different people. Where would he go? Because I mean, that would depend on if he's a starter or not. As crazy as it sounds, I think the first place that I thought about was first was the Clippers. Then I was like, nah, that wouldn't work. I mean, they got Reggie Jackson and they got some other guys. I think Terrence Mann is considered. I don't know if he's considered a point guard, but it just really depends on where he goes. That's the main thing. I don't know where he goes. If he goes to the Knicks, he's a starter. Well, no, he's not. I mean, does he start over Derrick Rose? I don't know.
Oh yeah, he starts over Derrick Rose. But again, I don't know if you kick the tires on him because last year he only played 40 games. I mean, that's 50% of the games. And then you look at He's been out the prior years to that.
Mhm.
So I don't know if he's I mean, the type of money that he's making, is he worth taking a shot on? I like him personally, but if I'm a GM, you know, is this a guy that I bring in? For the Knicks, I mean, I think he couldn't hurt, but can he buy into what Tom Thibodeau is doing?
Right.
You look at the Clippers. I mean, he's an okay fit there, but you know, is he better coming off the bench? I mean, that's something that I think first he's got to be realistic with himself, right? So I think one of the reasons why he's leaving Houston is he doesn't want to come off the bench. I think Houston is their concentration on is developing their youth, and they're invested into the young cornerstones that they have. So you know, ideally, he's not looking to rebuild. He wants to be a starter and play for a contender, but he's going to have to make some concessions just the way his contract breaks down. So it's going to be interesting. He goes to Detroit. He's a starter. You know, does he want to play or does he want to win? Interesting. Just
that's it right there, man. Does he want to play or does he want to win? And so yeah, the Knicks did bring in Kemba. So yeah, it's you know, I feel like the there are some teams that he can go to and be a contributor. It's gonna be tough. I mean, it really depends on where you go. And thinking about it, where in the world is he gonna go? I mean, the contenders don't really need a John Wall. You know, but I mean, they can use him if he's gonna be like a role player. His role is really gonna change. So what team were you thinking? What because I'm I guess Orlando's on the cusp. He could always go back to Washington, right? That's not gonna happen.
No, but I think, and it's funny that you bring that up. That might be the only fit that I really see. But they're committed to Spencer Dinwiddie. Can he beat out Spencer Dinwiddie? It just depends on if he's able to come back from his injury. Can he play with the Spurs? Can that work out for him?
That's a good question.
Yeah, if it was me, maybe he goes and backs up Steph, and Clay. That's another option. Does he go play with Lillard and Dang? The T-Wolves. Does he beat out D. Russell?
Because would he want to be a backup on that team, on that type of team, with those not with those young guys, because your minutes are going to be limited. I think they're trying to build something there, and they got pieces, man. They got D'Angelo Russell, you got Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns. They got some pieces there where you're gonna, I think in a year or two, you're gonna be like, or
do you go to a Suns team? How close is Chris Paul getting the retirement? Do you go there for a year and just kind of play a sixth role and give them some more depth on their bench?
Yeah, you're right. Because he's definitely not beating out Chris Paul.
No. He's not beating out Chris Paul when he's going to have a tough time with Cameron Payne, the way that he played. But I do like him in that rotation, to give them a little bit more depth. And maybe if he is going to play 40 games, that's the type of role that he should look at.
Right. All right, so it's almost time to get out of here, but I got to do something that is only right. So we talked about my nephew a few weeks ago. And he just had a monster game last week. 15 tackles, a pick six. So I got a link here. He's up for Player of the Week. My sister told me late, so I'm gonna post it. So it's right there. Click the link. Vote for Don Shula. He's committed to Notre Dame. But yeah, he's having a monster season. They're 1-1 right now. Lost the first game 2-0. And so that would be nice. I mean, she told me late, so right now, so we gotta get those votes up. We got till Friday. So matter of fact, I'll post the link twice. I'll post the link again. But yeah,
so look, 15 tackles and a pick six.
And a pick six. I think I showed you the pick six. Well, it was on my story.
I saw the pick six, but I didn't know he had 15 tackles to go.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he is legit. I mean, it ain't no one of those like, yeah, I'm just trying to, I'm just saying X, Y, and Z because of this. No, the boy could play football. he could play football, man. And
man, Spencer off All American. Them Spencer type numbers, man.
Hey, man. Hey, look, he ain't gonna like freaking have a bunch of injuries though. Like Spence. He's so dramatic, man. But we could talk about All American. Another, I really do.
I had to take it, but I had to take a break from All American, man. I got to a certain point. I was like, yeah.
Well, I mean, the season's over.
I catch it. Yeah, I catch up. But I got about halfway through the new season. I was like, yeah. I've got some other stuff I want to watch, so I just stopped watching.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I watch that joint when it comes on regular TV. I think we gotta give a shot. We gotta give Charles a shout out, man. So, you know what? I ain't gonna do that right now. It's too early in the season. It's only 1 week. You know what? No. Let's give him his flowers. Let's get this man Charles a flower. We had our draft again. He's in the same league with Burning Goats who couldn't score 100 points, but Charles was like, he had a rough couple weeks before the season started. After the draft, he was the talk of the town in the draft. He was about to have like a crazy trade, but ultimately Charles won his first week matchup, and he scored the most points in the league. He might be on to something. Nah, I don't know about that one, but. With that being said, let's get this man some.
Give Charles the horn.
Let's get Charles some horns, man, because he scored all them points. I don't know how and shout out to Charles too, because we're gonna have Charles on here October, like that first Wednesday in October.
That's a good fantasy karma. Good fantasy karma coming his way. But I tell you what, if what he did would have happened.
Oh,
it went down in fantasy history. So I'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that.
I'll leave it at that.
Because you know who did you know what?
Yeah.
So, but with that, we're gonna have him on. Let me find out what that first Wednesday in October, because I think that that is the Wednesday. October 6th is the Wednesday after the Cowboys play the Panthers. He is a Panthers fan, and I will make sure, win, lose, or draw, that he is on the show. That I hope he doesn't go in hiding, because him being a Panthers fan, he jumped out the window, man. And I think that is his fandom got the best of him that day, but it's too late. We locked in. We got a bet. I ain't backing off that bet. We gonna bet. So shout out to him.
So what week is that again?
October. Well, the game is October 3rd. We'll be live October 6th. Yeah. And I think that's week 4. I think that's week 4. So
is it in Carolina or Dallas?
It is in Dallas. Dallas. because I would have loved to go to that game. Yeah, because he would have been paying for it anyway. So, but anyway, oh man, so we got the okay. So he'll be here October 6th. Charles will be live on Off the Record. Yeah, man. So you got anything else, man? I think it's about time. I gotta go.
Nah.
I gotta go get a haircut, man. I'm woofing.
I know that's right.
But check out the replay for our NFL preview show. We got some more behind the scenes coming from that show. It was some good dialogue that we had. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram. I mean, I guess I could post the joints, but follow Scotty. There you go. All of those right there. I ain't about to. Yeah. Okay. So, but yeah, man. Man. I think we just about done here.
All right.
So, this is Off the Record. I am Anthony Adebayo.
It's your boy Scotty B.
We out.
Anthony Adebayo.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes. You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sports.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B.